first question I have for you is the stupidest question. The name of the band, the Bobby Lees, what is that from?
Whatever you want it to be from, bro. It's all you.
All right, that's fine. Fantastic. And so the album just came out, what, a couple days ago, right? On Friday?
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about it?
We're feeling good. I mean, like, there's been a good response to it, and the shows this weekend have been great. But, you know, like, it seems just a little bit anticlimactic because we had so much great stuff planned for the release. But we're really happy to just, you know, be able to put it out and have people hear it anyways. And, you know, give something, I guess, through all this. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Whereabouts
in Ohio did you play?
We were at there's a place called Used Kids Records that we played there before. They put a show on like with us at this bar called Jack's Corner Pub. It's like a shitty dive bar.
Right.
But none of the big venues were open, so we had to do the, you know.
Yep.
We played kind of weird random shows, just to do something.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating to have the record out and not be able to play in front of people. So you got to do what you can do, I guess.
Yeah, I think this was probably it's getting pretty bad in other states that we were supposed to go to. So this will probably be our last show until the fall. Hopefully, if the fall opens up. Man.
All right. Well, let's talk about the record a little bit. You got Jon Spencer to produce it. How do you guys know him, and what's the relationship like between you and he?
He reached out to us 2 years ago to open for him when he was coming through close to where we live, and I still have no idea how he found us, but he just wrote us an email randomly. I never asked. I don't know why. I keep forgetting to ask. But he asked us to open, and Kendall was graduating high school that night, and I did not know who Jon Spencer was yet, so I said, sorry, we're kind of busy. I just thought it was some dude, and then I looked him up, and I listened to that Orange record, and I was like, holy shit. And then he said there's a guarantee, and we had never been like paid a guarantee before, so we took the show, and she missed like the end of her graduation, but it was worth it. And then he asked me for a record, and I said, here's our first one, but I don't really like it very much. And he said, oh, well, I could try it to make it better or something, or do another one if you want. And then so we did.
And so what was the vibe like in the studio? What did he do for the band, and how did you guys react to it?
It was pretty quick. I mean, we went in. He's great because he works really on the fly. Like he hadn't even heard any of the songs. I mean, I had sent him like 2 little phone memos that we did in practice, but he came in, we just went through we just played him like once everything, and he took some notes, and then we recorded it in like, did we do 2 or 3 days for recording?
2 days.
3 days. We did not do 2 days.
2 days full band, and then 3 days.
Yeah, 2 days full band, and then 1 day of overdubs.
Right.
But yeah, Kendall, how was he with you?
I thought he was great. I mean, it was just cool to, I don't know, just have somebody else to bounce ideas off of that, like, obviously has had a lot of experience with just experimenting, I guess, in the studio and stuff. And my favorite part of it was watching him mix it on tape, because just like the kind of the back and forth, I don't know, like he had like a notepad with like all the takes written out, and I was so confused watching it. So it was just really cool, I guess, to see how he did it. But that was my favorite part, and it was just nice to have like an extra mind to help us out, I guess. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, songwriting wise, do you guys write as a band, or Sam, do you kind of take care of the lyrics, or how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, we usually, it's someone brings an idea, and then we kind of all write it together. Kind of everyone does their own part. I mean, I do the lyrics and my basic guitar part, and then Kendall will write a bass line, Mackie writes a drum part, and then Nick does. Everyone really equally contributes to making it like a fully formed song. It's pretty equal.
I noticed lyric-wise, there are quite a few deaths throughout the record. Is there a reason for that?
I don't know.
Wait, there are quite a few whats?
Deaths.
Deaths.
Talking about death. It's just an interesting topic. I don't know.
All right.
How pretentious.
No, one thing I would say about the record is it's certainly not pretentious. I don't think there's anything like that on there. And Nick, you sing one song which is an ode to salad dressing, if I'm not mistaken.
Nick is actually not in the vehicle right now.
Oh, sorry.
That's just Kendall. Can you scooch over 60?
Oh,
There's
yeah,
just
sorry.
Kendall in the back. Nick,
Oh, okay.
couldn't. Yeah, Nick couldn't come just for these 2 days. But he said, yeah, Ranch Baby was his. I think at school one day he did a voice. I fell in love with that. That's gonna go in the record. I like it, but he just did it quick. He just that was like a really quick. If that was the thing where we said to John, if we have time, there's a last song thing we want to record, and we had fun with that. But
Right.
But yeah.
And there are two covers on the record, Bo Diddley and Richard Hell, which caused me to go out and get I found my Richard Hell single
Sweet.
and my Bo Diddley album.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
And so what caused you to, I mean, you could have covered 1,000,000,001 songs. Why'd you choose those two?
Well, we chose Blank Generation because we had been doing it live.
That was just
for a
one of our
while,
live ones.
and it worked well, and people really liked it. And then we emailed Richard Hell to see if he would want to record it with us, and he said he was retired from music, but he gave us his blessing, so we felt like we had to do it. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, and then I'm a Man.
That one was started out as a joke. Like I didn't think we'd actually pull it off. But
Right.
we had fun. That was just that was kind of an experiment. We tried it. We did a couple takes, and we had a lot of fun with that one. So I like that song.
It sounds very live in the studio. I assume it probably was.
Yeah, that one was all of us. Most of the songs were us playing live. I mean, I think every song.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple where I did vocal overdubs or there were guitar overdubs, but he tried to get as much just on that first take in the room as possible.
Right. And speaking of your vocals, I mean, there's some pretty intense performances in there. Like, was it the end of Russell? It gets pretty heavy. What's going through your head? How do you get into the mood to do that?
That song's about a kid I know that OD'd, and I've been sober for a few years, so I kind of was just in that headspace of just, I don't know, thinking about that stuff.
Right. Okay.
So.
And the following song, the last song, is kind of the longest song on the record, and it kind of starts out as a ballad and then kind of builds up, and it's got organ and stuff. It's somewhat different than the other. Maybe you can give me a little insight about that one.
Last song, why did we decide to do it that way?
I was like, Sam was like, guys, I got this chord progression. This was like a couple of years ago, and then I was like, wait, what if there's like this one like cool Devo song where it's like they do that and then it builds up and then it's like, what if we just did that? and they're like, all right, sure. And I was like, yeah, Devo for the win.
Yeah, I think that was Mackie's idea.
Yeah.
Very cool. And what is a riddle daddy? I need to know.
We've been making fun of that this whole trip. I have no idea.
I mean, I guess that's the most refreshing thing about the album is like you said, it's not pretentious. It sounds like you guys are having fun. It's pure, unadulterated rock and roll, which is kind of we need at this point. So, are you guys based in Woodstock?
Yeah.
What's the scene like there? Because I mean, everybody thinks of Woodstock as Crosby, Stills and Nash and Joni Mitchell and all that. So.
What scene? Am I right?
Yeah. There's not much for our kind of music. There's not much. There's Kingston's a town like 20 minutes away. They have a venue that more like touring bands play at.
Right.
It's a different style of music. I mean, there's a couple local bands we like, but right now there's nothing happening. I mean, they're not booking any shows there till next year.
Right.
Yeah. Our favorite bands we play with are in other states, like in
Mainly in Ohio.
Yeah, we love some bands in Ohio.
Like who?
Love them.
Yeah.
Well,
They're okay. My two of my favorites from Ohio would have to be a band called Rat Motel.
Right. Okay.
And another one called Bundy and the Spins. I really like those two.
Are they based in Cleveland or Ashtabula or
they're
where?
in Columbus, and Columbus is Rat Motel, and then Dayton, right?
It might be Dayton. I'm not totally sure.
Bundy and the Spins, but
Bundy and the Spins somewhere in Ohio.
Right. And so how are you guys dealing with the COVID thing and the political stuff that's going on? Does that affect you guys where you are?
We're kind of just trying to like write new stuff and think for the future, I guess. We hope to like record again fairly soon, and
yeah, we're trying to just do something
think ahead,
instead
I
of
guess.
we're trying. I'm trying to avoid the negativity, but
Yeah. There's plenty of that.
we the beginning when we were about to go to South by Southwest, a festival down in Austin, and that got canceled, and we quarantined together for a couple weeks, me, Kendall, and Nick. So we wrote a bunch, and then we all got together and started writing. So that was one productive thing we've done during this time.
Yeah. We had a bunch of artists from New Zealand that were going to come to South by Southwest, and they were all fired up, and it all went down the toilet at the end. So they were bummed about it.
Yeah.
Have
we're not alone. You can't feel bad about it because it literally happened to everyone. So
Exactly. Yep. So you say you're already thinking about the next album?
Yeah, we're trying to if all our shows get canceled for this summer, we're trying to record another record in August. We'll see if we can make it happen, but that was the conversation this morning we decided on.
This morning.
Hot off the press.
You're the first to know.
Woohoo! Yeah. And would you work again with Jon Spencer, or produce it yourself, or find somebody else? How are you thinking about that?
I don't know. We don't know yet. There's someone else we wanted to work with. We had talked to, like, trying a couple songs out with. This guy Vance Powell, who does a lot of the Third Man records, a lot of the bands on Third Man. But I'm sure we'll work with Jon again too in the future. I'm not sure exactly who we're going to do this one with yet.
Yeah. So do you feel kind of an affinity with like the Third Man scene, or do you feel like there are other bands that are doing kind of what you're doing, or are you on your own?
my favorite band I found like recently is a band called The Stools. They're out of Detroit. They just signed to Third Man. I like a lot of their older the reissues they do from the 90s, like the Flat Duo Jets and the Gories and stuff. I like all that. And all Jack White's bands and stuff. But yeah.
And have you been writing the songs for the new album yet, or is that still something that needs to be done?
Writing them, bro.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Mid-stroke, dog.
We're close. We're like 9 or 10 done.
Nice. Man, oh man. It's not bad considering the album's been out like 3 days, so you're moving.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is though, like, we recorded this album last March, and then it just kept getting pushed back. So like we've been kind of itching, I guess.
Yeah,
to, like,
itching to get it.
So I think we'd rather at this point put something out sooner rather than wait again. Yeah.
And when you actually do get a chance to perform, what I'm assuming that it's pretty crazy and pretty hyped up. What can you tell me? What happens during your shows?
It depends on where we are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Depends.
We're no Guar, but
well, thank goodness for that.
I think our hometown shows, people have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Those are always like really great and always a really good crowd. And sometimes actually, we played in Indianapolis 2 nights ago, and the people there like really loved it, and that was our first time there. So sometimes you'll get like a show in your first time in one city, and it's amazing. And I don't know, it varies, I guess, but like this weekend was all really great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's got to be a relief anyway. Well, hopefully you guys will get a chance to come down to New Zealand at some point, because I have a feeling they'd love you down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would love to.
We got a good rocking scene.
Heck yeah, bro.
Exactly. So yeah, well, maybe in a few months we'll see what happens. Because like I said, it's all clear here. We're just afraid of all the foreigners coming in and
Afraid of us.
affecting us.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Are you still in Pennsylvania?
We're still. I mean, Pennsylvania is pretty big, as you know.
Yeah.
It's like
Still here.
just a big plank of wood, right there.
Yeah. The old Pennsylvania Turnpike. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get back to your driving. Thank you very much for talking to me.
I'm sorry about the drive part. We didn't know we'd be in the car.
Drive by the Bobby Lees.
There you go.
Video out now.
All right. Well, be safe and thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Marty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.